All right, warm-ups for today. So if you're playing along at home, press pause and give these a go. These are, the first two are rolls, so it's a good hint that one works and one doesn't. But after that, I think you'll be fine. All right, let's go over these. So f of x equals x squared plus 4x plus 3 over x plus 2 on negative 2 to 4. Whoops, there we go. And we're going for rolls on this one. So for rolls, I need continuous on the closed interval. Are we continuous on the closed interval for this guy? No, if we plug in negative 2, and closed means we got to include negative 2, we have a problem. We can't divide by 0. So, no. So we can't use rolls. So this problem is done. We like those. We have nothing more to do on that one. Not continuous at x equals 2. Number 2. We suspect this one will work, but I guess we should figure out for sure. X squared plus 6x plus 5 on negative 4 to negative 2. Again, rolls has 3 conditions. Continuous on the closed. I'm going to group the first two together on this one because negatives. Differentiable on the open, but both of those are true because it's a polynomial. Yes, f is a polynomial. And a polynomial is everywhere continuous and everywhere differentiable. So we're good on the first two. The third condition is that the y value at the endpoints are the same. So I need to check that. F of negative 4 would be 16 minus 24 plus 5. That would be negative 3, I think. Yes. F of negative 2 would be 4 minus 12 plus 5. And that would be negative 3. So yes, we're good on the endpoints being equal, the y value of the endpoints being equal. So rolls applies. And that means that somewhere the derivative is equal to 0. Well, the derivative would be 2x plus 6. So x equals negative 3. I'm checking to make sure that's in my interval. Well, it has to be. Rolls guarantees that it will be. So I should check, but it's fine. It works. Questions on either one of those? Did those kind of quick, but. Number 3 is an MVT problem. F of x equals x plus 1 over x on 1/2 2. And the conditions for MVT are the first two conditions of rolls: continuous on the closed interval and differentiable on the open interval. This would have a problem, but the only problem would be at 0. And 0 is not in our interval, so we're okay here. The only issue is at x equals 0. And that's not in our interval, so we're good. So MVT, like most places, this one jumps straight to the formula. I like to think of the words first. The calculus slope equals the algebra slope. That way I don't have to memorize the formula. I just have this idea in my head that calc slope equals algebra slope. So it may take a little bit to find the calculus slope. It may take a little bit to find the algebra slope. Set them equal to each other and figure out where it happens. So I guess we could do algebra first. F of 2. 2 plus 1 over 2 would be 3/2. We're going to get to do fractions today. F of 1/2 would be 1/2 plus 1 over 1/2. So that would be 3/2 over 1/2. Hopefully your fraction sense is good enough that it doesn't take you forever to do a little bit of algebra with fractions, but if it does, that's your time you're burning there. So algebra slope is 3/2 minus 3 over 2 minus 1/2. More fraction stuff. We got to be okay with fractions. So that would be negative 3/2 over, let's see, 2 would be 4/2, minus 1/2 would be 3/2. Oh, that worked out. A lot of fractions to get -1 for our algebra slope. For our calculus slope, how many of you use the quotient rule? Come on, I saw some of you use the quotient rule. Did anybody not use the quotient rule and do something else? Because you could divide them both by x and make this 1 plus 1 over x, or 1 plus x to the -1. So you can get out of the quotient rule if you're paying attention. I think most of you use the quotient rule, so I'll use it just to make sure that we do it correct. It's not hard because f prime is 1 and g prime is 1. So gf prime minus fg prime. Careful with the minus sign, make sure everybody gets the minus sign there. All over g squared. So that would be -1 over x squared for our calculus slope. Calc slope equals algebra slope. So you kind of move things around. X squared equals 1. So that means x equals plus or minus 1. And if you box that as your answer, you're going to lose a point, or maybe 2. What's wrong? Yeah, can't use -1. So only x equals 1 is in the interval that we were looking in. All right, Rolles and MVT.